Hey everybody, welcome back to Zippy Industries. Today, same but different. Another shovelhead frame in. We've already got it cut up, right? So we have our cradle, our yoke. We already have our neck in here. Still need to do the usual treatment of getting all these slugs out. But a little different on this one. We're going 3 up, 28 degrees, right? So right now it is set at 28 degrees. All right, so we are deraking this bike. We'll have to see how this all settles out. More than likely, we are going to cut this neck and do some tweaking here in order to get everything to line up. So, first things first, we're gonna get this all done. But I want to get this in here to kind of see where everything lines up, because it's 3 up and 28 degrees. So we'll see where our down tubes line up and whatnot, and see where our yoke is, to see where our backbone is. So yeah, we're gonna have to do some tweaking in here, because you can see that this line goes all the way damn near to the top of the jig there. And we're gonna run panhead plates, so yeah, it's gonna take a little work. So let's get this bottom part in. Hey everybody, just want to jump on here real quick and let you know that our new shirts are live. Our Reaper shirt, right? So this is our first black shirt, and these are printed on the same next level tri-blends that our other shirts are printed on. So they're super stretchy, they vent really well, and they keep you cool, unlike those heavy cotton rags that are out there. So get yours on zippyindustries.com. We will have these at Party at the Pin East if we have anything left. Take care. Damn it. All right, got our axle plates set up in here. Got the frame mounted. It looks like up front, it's really close to being the same angle. So when we do our tubes, we might have to tweak just a bit this way and just a bit this way. So for our long tube, let's see what we got here. This is stainless and it's also bent, but we'll do some sort of reference. Yeah, so that's definitely got to come down. We'll figure that out. But anyway. Still gotta do some cleanup on this, right? We gotta get these tubes out. Gotta get this off, which if you've seen in previous videos, how we do that. All right. So also this guy, we're probably gonna have to cut and do a bend in here like we did in the last frame in order to get everything lined up. So do some work. Yeah, so we're gonna cut this webbing out. All right, so we're gonna take this out and we're gonna cut the neck right here. And that's where we're gonna get our angle from. All right, to derake this. And then we'll put a new plate in here and weld this back up, new bottom. So this will all be going away, and it'll clean this up, make it look really nice. All right, so got our yoke cleaned up. I gotta get this off still. I gotta cut the weld and then peel this like I did before. All right, and then our seat yoke will essentially be ready. I gotta get the center, so we're gonna have to tilt, we're gonna have to bend this a little bit. So we'll cut it, put a new piece on, bend it back. I do have the one from the last bike I did, and if it's long enough in this chaos, we'll use that one because then it's the same. But anyway, let's get to it. All right, so we got all of our slugs. Got our 2 slugs in here so we can run 1/8" blowers to match. Right, got our slugs down here. We still got to put our bevels on these and clean this paint off, and then that'll be ready to weld. Got to put our rosettes, so we got to punch some holes in. Got to put a bevel on this guy. All right, that one already has it. Got our slugs up here. All right, so it fits pretty well. All right. Next, I think we're gonna clean up this neck. So I'm gonna cut this out, right, and then we're gonna have to cut this in order to bend this a little bit just to line up, because we need to get these a little closer, because I can bend this a bit and bend these back and split this, if that makes sense. And then we'll put new tubes in here. I'll cut these out and we'll run new tubes. That way we only have one joint, right? So then that'll be all good. We can get rid of this tank mount because he's not going to need that. All right, and then we got to figure out our country bar. He was wanting to do like this radius deal, so we'll have to figure out how to do that with what we got. So, but moving along. All right, we got like a quarter of it done. So, all right, so we got our neck all cleaned up. I still got to clean all the rust and shit out of here, but you can see how far off we are. All right, so this tube comes down here, and this is here, so it's off a little bit. You can see our backbone is off a little bit too. If we pull that this cone out, that's, you know, that's our center on top, it's a lot closer. So we're gonna cut this, and I think where we get this in here, I think our tubes are gonna line up pretty fucking close, right? Because this is in here, this guy will come straight down, this will come straight down. All right, so we are gonna have to splay them out a little bit, of course, so we'll have to see what the end play here looks like. But the biggest thing I'm trying to get is the backbone. All right, if we can get the backbone in line and straight with everything, the rest of this is just putting the pieces together. So that's not that big a deal. So I got marked here where I'm going to cut it. I think I'm going to cut it in the top, because then we can just bend it down, right? And then that'll open our gap, and then we can weld all that in, right? If I do it in the bottom, I'm going to have to make a pie cut in here, and we're going to have to figure out how much to take out, and then trying to get back in here to weld this is going to be a pain in the ass. Whereas if we cut this down to like, I don't know, like here, and then bend this, right, it opens our gap up at the top. It gives us plenty of room to weld, and we don't have to try and weld in here, and it'll be, I think it'll be a lot better. So one thing I will do once we get this open is we're going to gouge out the bottom here, because I want to make sure we get this bottom welded really well for when we go back together. I don't want to cause any stress risers. So probably going to end up cutting this down and then drilling a hole through here. That way it rounds it out and there's not like a stop point to do a stress riser. So let's cut it. All right, we got our neck all ready to be welded up. All right, I got it gouged out here pretty good. It's pretty good gouge. This is where I tacked it. So once I put a tack here on the bottom, I'm gonna bridge this gap and then tack that, and I'll gouge these out on each side. I didn't want it to move while I was doing this. So down here we're going to fill most of this up. So this runs out here, right? So this is going to be a lot of weld in here. All right, so And then on the other side, same thing. All right, we're going to blend this out. So quite a bit of weld in there. All right. And then we got our pie piece here. This will fit in like so. All right. Those spot where I left that little bit of ridge, right? That helps me line this up. Gets it perfectly centered to where it originally was. So once this is welded out, we'll weld this out. And then the whole thing we're going to put in oil dry. So probably going to weld, I'm probably going to do this in 2 ops. All right, so weld this out, right? Get all this welded, finish this weld out, and then we'll put our other piece in. That way we can ensure that we're good. So really, we probably could just weld all this in 1 op, but I want to make sure we don't have any problems because it's kind of a big deal. So one thing I do want to do, like I mentioned before, is drill this out. You can see it's got a square bottom to it. All right, so I want to drill that just so we have a nice round bottom, so we don't have less chance of any sort of fractures there, stress risers and whatnot. So yeah, let's start welding. All right, got our neck out of the floor dry. All right, turned out pretty well. Still got to do a cover pass here, and I'm probably going to do another pass in here. It's a little undercut because I beveled these, so it'll give us a nice fillet. All right, so other side looks pretty good too. So not too shabby. The old floor dry worked pretty well. So gotta clean it up and get it going. So this is what I use. All right, just regular old floor dry. All right, so it's pretty fine. Worked pretty well. It actually was still a touch warm this morning, so allowed it to cool down really slow. Help it keep from cracking. So taking all the precautions I can on this. First one we've cut and actually done this too, so don't want any problems. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so we got our finished welds done on our neck. This one's sitting here overnight. All done. Turned out pretty good. Got two passes on everything with the notch deal. Everything flowed out real nice. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. Now we gotta blend all this neck out though. All right, so we're gonna leave all this, right? So I'm not gonna mess with any of this. If he wants to blend that out, he can. I'm not going to because I don't want to. It doesn't need it. I don't know what his plans are, so I don't know if he's molding everything or what, but these are pretty in there pretty well, so they really wouldn't take hardly anything to flush out. So yeah, I got this side looking pretty snazzy. All right, so we're gonna take care of this up here, right? We're gonna flush this out. So we have this tube that runs into here, right? And it runs across, so we're trying to kind of blend this in, radius this out so that it has a lot of meat here, okay? Both sides should be pretty close to the same. All right, so this should not take a lot to get where we want it. Just taking the tops off. You gotta take this little, there's a little ridge here that I built up, but break that down on the other side, and then yeah, so here's our bottom. Overall, pretty happy with how this turned out. So yeah, so first time doing one of these, super happy so far. No cracks that I've seen. That was the whole point of the floor dry, is to let it slowly cool down. Yeah, yesterday I welded it. I did some welds and I had to leave, and I came back like 2 hours later and the floor dried and it was still hot. Like I still had to put gloves on to pick it out. So just kind of give you an idea how well that stuff holds the heat in. So got our rear tubes in. All right, so weld this out. These, I have the slugs for these. I got thread, and then this is all cleaned up. Get all of our plug weld holes in. So really, once we get the neck back on, then we can finish everything out. But we gotta get that done first. So we're gonna blend this out, and then we're gonna try and texture it to get this cast look. So we can use a burr to kind of get that look. You can see where the burr is down here, kind of got into it. But I'm gonna use a needle scaler. We're gonna blend this out and see what we can get done. Let's get to it. All right, got our frame all finished up. All right, turned out pretty damn nice. All right, see, you got a texture back here a little bit. All right, so this is just using a carbide burr. This actually was a bull nose, and I just used the tip of it to get this. All right, this is what I did earlier. This one's a little smoother. This can be flattened out. Just take a wire brush over it and flatten it off. But overall, pretty happy with it. So got everything done. Got our hardtail chopper ink panhead plates. Right, we went tapered on these, so tapered upper rails, tapered middle. Right, so he's going to run a curved deal fender. And then we got our upper motor mount here, which is tied into our country bar. This came out really nice. I'm really happy with this. So overall, I'm super happy with this frame. The neck was something new. We had never done this before. So what we did on this neck, cast neck, stock neck. So it's an FLH neck, which is 30 degrees for the shovel head, and we took 7 degrees out of it. All right, so this frame is 3 up, and then this is at 28 degrees of rake is our final rake. So we had to cut 7 degrees out of here, re-welded it. So I'll put some pictures up and whatnot, but we cut this thing damn near all the way up to here, and then I V'd all this out, and this was all filler material. So this thing's not going anywhere. So 3/8 plate here. This middle wedge here is 3/8 also. So yeah, it's not going anywhere. But yeah, super happy with this. This is going back to Indiana, just like our last one actually. And this one actually is from my home area, which, you know, small world. So anyway, that's going to do it for this one. We do have the stainless frame back in the jig, so hopefully we'll be able to finish weld that out now. And yeah, send me more frames. Let's do some crazy shit. This neck was the first for us, and we wanted to do this for a while. So opportunity came our way, and we made it happen. So let's see what's next. That'll do it for now. Take care. Stay tuned.